I want you to be honest with me, because I guarantee this happened to you at least once this week. It is 10:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. You are physically present in your bed, but your brain is still wired from the stress of the office. You are completely fried. You are exhausted, but you cannot sleep. So, what do? You pick up your phone. You open Amazon or Instagram or TikTok shop, and you start scrolling. You see a cool gadget for your desk, or maybe some new skincare serum, or a t-shirt that looks kind of nice. It is only $40. It is on sale. And you think to yourself, I worked 10 hours today. My boss was a nightmare. I earned this. I deserve a little treat. Click. Purchased. Arriving tomorrow. You get that tiny rush of dopamine. For about 5 seconds, you feel good. You feel like you have some control over your life. You tell yourself it is just $40, and you make good money, so you can afford it. But here is the brutal truth that nobody tells you. You were not buying a product. You were buying a painkiller. You were buying a temporary hit of serotonin to numb the misery of your 9-to-5. And mathematically, that $40 click did not just cost you $40. When we do the forensic accounting on your life, when we factor in the taxes you paid on that income, the gas you burned getting to work to earn it, the stress that ruined your health, and the hours of your life you will never get back, that little treat might have actually cost you 10 hours of human life. You think you were selling your time for $40 an hour, but the math proves you might be working for less than $4 an hour. My name is Jim. I have spent 20 years obsessed with the invisible equations that govern our lives. And I've realized that most of us are running on a hamster wheel that is moving just slightly faster than we can run. If you are someone who looks at your paycheck and wonders where it all goes, you need to watch this. Today, we are going to calculate your real hourly wage. We are going to expose the hidden work tax that is silently eating 70% of your salary. And I have to warn you, once you see the real number, that buy now button is never going to look the same again. Here is the fundamental lie we are all sold from the moment we graduate school. We are told that our value is defined by one single golden number, our annual salary. We look at that offer letter. Maybe it says $65,000. Maybe it says $100,000. And we anchor our entire sense of self-worth to it. We base our budgets on it. We base our egos on it. We tell our parents about it. If you make $65,000 a year, you grab your calculator, you divide by 52 weeks, then by 40 hours, and you smile. You say, I make $31.25 an hour. That sounds respectable. It is decent. It is a middle-class life. You feel like you are trading 1 hour of your existence for $31 of value. That feels like a fair trade. But I am a forensic accountant of life, and I am here to tell you that you are hallucinating. In the business world, looking at revenue, which is your salary, without looking at expenses, the cost of working, is how companies go bankrupt. If a bakery sells $1 million worth of bread, but spends $1,001 on flour, rent, and labor, that bakery is worth zero. It is a failing enterprise. Yet, when it comes to our own labor, we act like revenue is profit. We completely ignore the cost of goods sold, and the good being sold is you. It is your life, your energy, your mental health, and your time. And the cost of selling yourself to a modern employer is astronomical. Let us perform a brutal, line-by-line audit of a hypothetical average worker in this economy. Let us call him James. And as I describe James, I want you to be honest, brutally honest, about whether you see yourself in his bank statement. The financial audit, where the money really goes. James makes that respectable $31 an hour, or $65,000 per year. But before that money even hits his direct deposit, the government takes its cut. Between federal tax, state tax, Social Security, and Medicare, that $31 is instantly shaved down to about $24. Okay, $24 an hour. Still, not terrible. We accept taxes as the price of civilization. But now, we have to subtract the work-related costs. These are the insidious expenses that James pays solely for the privilege of having this job. These are costs that would not exist if he did not have to show up to that office. Number 1. The commuter's cage, the transportation tax. First, let us look at the commute. The average American spends thousands of dollars a year just to physically get their body to the building where they make the money. James drives a decent car. Why? Because he needs a reliable vehicle to get to work, and he needs to look the part. But let us look at the math. He is burning gas, about $4 a gallon. He is paying for insurance premiums that are higher because he drives during rush hour. He is wearing down his tires. He is racking up mileage that destroys the resale value of the car. The IRS estimates the true cost of driving a vehicle is about 67 cents per mile. If James drives just 15 miles each way, that is 30 miles a day. That is roughly $5,000 a year in post-tax money just to move his body to the office. He is paying $5,000 a year for the privilege of sitting in a box, inhaling exhaust fumes, and listening to podcasts to keep from screaming. Number 2, the appearance tax, the costume cost. Then there is the cost of appearance. James cannot roll out of bed and go to the office in his pajamas. He needs to maintain a professional image. He needs the slacks, the button-downs, the blazers. He needs the dress shoes that hurt his feet. He needs the dry cleaning bills because you cannot wash a suit at home. He needs to get his hair cut every 3 weeks instead of every 6. He is spending money to maintain the costume of a successful worker. That is an expense line item on his personal profit and loss statement. Let us conservatively call this $1,500 a year. Number 3, the convenience tax, the exhaustion fee. This is where the bleeding gets heavy. This is where most of you are losing the war. Because James is at the office from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and stuck in traffic from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., he has zero energy left to cook. His willpower is depleted. So what happens? He buys the $15 salad for lunch because he did not have time to meal prep on Sunday. He buys the $7 latte every morning because he needs the caffeine just to survive the 2 p.m. slump. He orders Uber Eats for dinner twice a week because the idea of chopping an onion feels like climbing Mount Everest. He pays for the dog walker because he is not home to let the dog out. He pays for the cleaner because he is too tired to scrub the toilet on weekends. These are costs that are directly subsidized by his exhaustion. He is spending money to buy back the energy the job stole from him. Let us call this $3,000 a year. Number 4, the decompression tax, the numbing agents. And finally, the darkest category of all, the one financial advisors ignore. This is the money James spends to numb the pain of the job. It is the Friday night bar tab that runs up to $100 because he needs to blow off steam after a week of being yelled at by clients. It is the impulsive vacation he books to an all-inclusive resort because he feels like he is suffocating and just needs to escape his reality for a week. It is the retail therapy, that $40 gadget, the new shoes, the video games, bought late at night on Amazon just to feel a hit of dopamine. It is the money we spend to heal the damage the job inflicts on our psyche. We are literally paying to treat the symptoms of our employment. Let us be conservative and call this $4,000 a year, the preliminary math. So, let us do the math on the money. He started with $65,000, minus taxes, approximately $15,000, minus the car, $5,000, minus the clothes, $1,500, minus the convenience food, $3,000, minus the numbness, $4,000. James's actual take-home usable profit is $36,500. He has lost nearly 50% of his income just to maintain the job that pays him the income. He is running a business with a 50% overhead margin. That is a disaster. The time audit, the shadow work. But we are only halfway through the crime scene because wage is a function of money divided by time. And just like we overestimate the money, we drastically underestimate the time. HR says James works 40 hours a week. His contract says 9 to 5. But that is a lie. That is a corporate fiction designed to make you feel like you have work-life balance. Let us track James's actual hours committed to the job. Number 1. The grooming. The prep time. James wakes up at 6:30 a.m. Why? To get ready for work. He showers, shaves, irons his shirt, packs his bag, and stares into the mirror, questioning his life choices. That is 30 minutes of labor for the employer. If he did not have the job, he would be sleeping. That is 2.5 hours a week. Number 2. The commute. The unpaid transport. He walks out the door and gets into his car. He drives 30 minutes to work in stop-and-go traffic. That is unpaid hazardous labor. He is transporting a valuable asset, himself, to the company's location, on his own dime, on his own time. That is 5 hours a week. Number 3, the hostage lunch. He takes an hour for lunch. Now, technically, this is off the clock. But can he go home? Can he take a nap in his own bed? Can he play with his kids? No. He is tethered to the office. He is eating a sad sandwich at his desk or sitting in a noisy cafeteria. He is held captive by the employer. That is time he cannot use for himself. That is 5 hours a week. Number 4, the decompression, the shadow work. Then, at 5 p.m., and he drives 30 minutes home. More unpaid transportation time. And then, and this is the part we always forget, when he finally walks through his front door at 6 p.m., is he free? No. He spends the next 30 minutes decompressing. He stares at the wall. He vents to his partner about his incompetent boss. He checks his work email on his phone one last time, just to make sure nothing is burning down. He is physically home, but mentally, he is still on the clock. This is called shadow work. It is the emotional labor that bleeds into your personal life. That is another 2.5 hours a week. The final calculation, the shock. If you add up the grooming, the commuting, the hostage lunch, and the shadow work, James is not dedicating 40 hours a week to his job. He is dedicating 55 to 60 hours a week. So now, let us do the real math. Let us calculate the real hourly wage. We take his real net profit, that $36,500, the money he actually gets to keep, and we divide it by his real total hours, which is roughly 3,000 hours a year. 36,500 divided by 3,000. Do you know what the number is? $12.16. James thinks he is a high-paid professional making $31 an hour, but mathematically, he is making $12.16 an hour. And if James lives in a high-cost city, like New York, San Francisco, or London, where the rent is double, the taxes are higher, and the cocktails cost $20, that number drops to $8 an hour. Let that sink in for a second. James is wearing a suit. He has a degree. He drives a nice car. He has manager in his job title. But he is mathematically making less money per hour than the teenager flipping burgers at McDonald's down the street. Why? Because the teenager walks to work. He wears a free uniform provided by the company. He eats free food on his shift. And most importantly, when he clocks out, he leaves his stress at the fry station. He does not go home and drink a bottle of wine to forget about the burgers. The teenager has zero overhead. James has massive overhead. James is running a business that is bleeding cash and time, but he does not realize it because he is only looking at the top line revenue. The golden handcuffs trap. This math also exposes the trap of the golden handcuffs. We often chase promotions because we think more money equals more wealth, but often it just equals more overhead. Let us say James gets promoted. He gets a $10,000 raise. Awesome, right? He pops the champagne. But wait, now that he is a manager, he has to stay until 7 p.m. every night. So now he is ordering takeout for dinner 5 nights a week instead of 2. He needs nicer suits because he is meeting with clients now. He needs a second car because he cannot carpool with his spouse anymore. His stress levels skyrocket, so he starts getting massages every weekend and drinking nicer scotch. You might actually find that your real hourly wage goes down after a promotion. You are processing more money through your bank account. The revenue is higher, but your profit margin has collapsed. You are keeping less of it, and you are giving up more of your life to get it. You have simply built a more expensive cage. Hidden cost here that is truly terrifying. It is the opportunity cost. When you spend your money on the costs of working, the commute, the convenience food, the appearance, you are not just spending cash. You are robbing your future self of compound interest. That $5 a day on coffee because you are too tired to brew it at home? Over 30 years, invested at 7%, that is nearly $200,000. You are not just drinking a coffee. You are drinking your retirement. You are drinking 2 years of freedom. You are drinking the option to quit your job when you are 55 instead of 65. The system relies on you being too exhausted to do this math. They rely on you being a passive consumer of your own life. They want you to think, I make good money, so you keep signing the lease on the luxury apartment and financing the luxury car, keeping you trapped in the cycle of needing the job to pay for the things you bought to tolerate the job. It is a perfect, self-sustaining loop of misery. You are the product. The job is the consumer, and you are selling yourself at a discount. So the next time you look at a price tag, let us say a new pair of sneakers for $120. Do not look at the money. Look at the time. At $12 an hour, those sneakers are not $120. They are 10 hours of your life. That is 10 hours of sitting in traffic. 10 hours of fake smiling at meetings. 10 hours of missing your kid's childhood. Is a pair of sneakers worth 10 hours of human suffering? Suddenly, the answer is no. And that is the moment you start to wake up. So, what is the solution? How do we break this equation? I know this math hits hard. You might be sitting there thinking, great, Jim, my job is a scam, I am broke, and I am wasting my life. Should I just quit tomorrow and go live in the woods? No. We have to be realistic. You have bills. You have a mortgage. You have kids who need to eat. Burning your life down is not a strategy. The solution is to ruthlessly optimize your real hourly wage. From this moment on, I want you to stop judging your success by your gross salary. That number is a vanity metric. It is meaningless. It is just a number on a piece of paper. I want you to start judging your success by your efficiency. You need to start treating your labor like a business. A smart business owner does not just try to increase revenue at all costs. They try to increase their profit margin. Your life is the business. Your margin is the time and money you have left over to actually be a human being. Think about it this way. If you were making $100,000 a year, but you were spending $95,000 and working 80 hours a week to generate it, you are a failing business. You are Enron. You are waiting to collapse. You have high revenue, but your overhead is destroying you. But if you make $50,000 a year, spend $20,000, and only work 30 hours a week, you are a highly profitable, robust enterprise. You are winning. You have built a gap between your income and your expenses, and that gap is where your freedom lives. So, how do we increase that margin? You audit the costs. You cut the fat. Number 1, attack the commute. Can you negotiate working from home 2 days a week? Even if they say no to a raise, fight for this. If you save 2 hours of commuting and $10 of gas every single week, you just gave yourself a massive raise without the company paying you a dime more. You lowered your cost of goods sold. Number 2, attack the convenience tax. Can you start meal prepping on Sunday? I know it is boring, but spending $15 on a salad every day is what keeps you poor. That is $3,000 a year of post-tax money. That is 250 hours of your life you are eating for lunch. Stop eating your freedom. Number 3, attack the ego. Can you stop caring about what your coworkers think of your clothes? Can you drive the older car for 3 more years instead of upgrading? Every dollar of work-related expense you cut is a dollar of pure profit. But the biggest shift, the one that changes everything, is psychological. You have to stop being a passive consumer of your own life and start being the CEO. I want you to do something for me this weekend. Not on Friday night when you are tired and weak, but on Sunday morning when you are fresh. Sit down with a piece of paper. Run the numbers I just showed you. Calculate your commute cost. Estimate your taxes. Be brutally honest about your decompression spending. Add up the shadow work hours. Divide your real net profit by your real total hours. Get that number. Maybe it is $14. Maybe it is $8.50. Write that number on a sticky note. Put that sticky note right on your credit card. Stick it to the back of your phone case. The next time you go to buy something stupid, the next time you are about to click buy now on that $40 dopamine hit because you had a bad day, look at that number. Ask yourself, am I willing to trade 5 hours of my life for this plastic junk? That friction will save you more money than any budget app ever could. When you realize the price is your life, you stop spending it so cheaply. We are living in an era where time is becoming the ultimate currency. The rich are buying time. The poor are selling it at a discount. Do not sell your time at a discount. Audit your life. Cut the vampire costs associated with your job. Stop trying to look rich and start trying to be free. If this video made you rethink your paycheck, share it with a coworker who looks tired. We are all in this same trap, but we can math our way out of it together. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.